Hi, I'm Kesenya and welcome to Guiding Star Astrology. I'm your Astro Weather Girl, here with this week's Astro Weather Report. I'm going to show you how the stars are going to affect your life this week. Hello and welcome to this week's Astro Weather Report. I want to empower you through the tool of astrology this week, looking at the stars and how they're playing out and affecting our lives between the 15th to the 22nd of January. Now, keep in mind as I do this reading that this is a reading for your personal life. It's about the planets and how they'll be affecting you on a personal level. I'm not talking about the big collective experiences here that we're all living through right now. There are plenty of great YouTube astrologers out there talking about this. I encourage you to check them out. But if you want to know what's happening for you personally this week and how you might experience the energies, then this is the video for you. But first, I do need to do a little bit of housekeeping, so please bear with me. I'm very excited to share about the launch of my Royal Stars Academy, my Certified Astrologer course. If you want to get certified at a high level in astrology, then this course, you're going to love it. You're absolutely going to love it. But I was intending, back when I began preparations to launch this course, I was intending to launch it in January until I realized Mercury retrograde was occurring this January. So I don't want to launch it during Mercury retrograde. So I've postponed the launch until sometime in February. So if you want to find out about the course in the meantime, do sign up for my newsletter. In doing so, you will receive notifications about what the course will entail, the syllabus, and what to expect and how it's going to run. So jump over to my website, go to the contacts page and sign up for the newsletter so that you can not miss out on any of the juicy information regarding getting certified as a professional astrologer. Secondly, I've had a huge month. Just to share what's going on in my life briefly, my father has, since the eclipses fell in my 10th house back in early December, my father has had some very unexpected heart issues and had to have 2 surgeries in the last month. And then with Christmas and New Year and my children on school summer holidays, I'm just beside myself. So as such, I'm taking the next 2 weeks off from doing my YouTube videos so that I can focus on catching up with all my readings, because I have had a lot of readings and people need that source of astrological encouragement right now with the state of things in the world. So I want to focus on that solely for the next 2 weeks, and therefore there will not be any astro weather reports. So just letting you all know about that. And thank you to everyone for your understanding regarding that. I just need to nourish myself a little so that I can continue to be of benefit to other people. And lastly, in this little piece of housekeeping, this whole last week we had a heap of specials from all my Guiding Star practitioners. We had a face reading video, you might have seen it last week, forecast, financial forecast for the year ahead with Gaia, tarot readings with Kesenya, planetary wash meditations with Jamila. I mean, if you didn't catch these videos, I'd encourage you to go back to the playlists on my YouTube page and check them out, because there was some wonderful information to support you and empower you for 2022. Plus, all of my practitioners are offering specials for the month of January. So if you've always wanted a past life regression or a face reading or a meditative planetary wash or a tarot reading, I encourage you, head over to my website, to the wellness page where all my practitioners are offering their deals, and also the astrology readings page, which is where you'll get discounts from all my associate astrologers who are working with me there. So now that the housekeeping's in order, the best days this week, and remember I'm using Australian times because I'm in Australia. So if you're in another part of the world, particularly if you're in the US, then usually you'll be about a day behind what I'm suggesting here. And you can interpret this as being a day behind what I'm saying. Now, we need to be conscious also of the void of course moon, because the void of course moon can mean that when we try and instigate something under its energy, when the moon is void of course, then nothing much amounts from that endeavor. And if you want to have a flourishing success with something, then you want to try and avoid the void of course moon. You can do that by checking out an app. There are plenty of void of course moon apps, but one that I use is iLuna. So check that out. Now, the 19th and the 20th of January this week, they're going to be the really key days to note. They're going to be the days where you can take action regarding anything in your life, start something new, initiate an interaction, initiate a project, initiate an opportunity, and it can have more success. Now, of course, I'm not looking at everyone's personal charts. This is just the general overview of the energy of the day. It's more positive and beneficial. So if you got something really important that's happening, you know, it would benefit you to get maybe a horary astrology reading with my astrologer Gaia, so that she can, you know, give you the lowdown on whether that will be an effective time to take action. But tapping into our courage is something we can also do on the 19th and 20th, tapping into our inner warrior. And if we do so, it can really pay off. Taking a risk, taking a bold step, getting out of our comfort zone, all those things are supported under the energies of the 19th and 20th of January. Now, Mars is going to be out of bounds from the 15th to the 18th of January, so a lot of this week. And so we need to check what Mars rules in our personal chart. For example, let's say you're Leo rising, Mars rules Aries, and so in this instance, it would be anything 9th house that would be being affected by Mars being out of bounds. Or Mars also in traditional astrology rules Scorpio, so it would be anything 4th house. If you were a Leo rising person, that would be being affected by Mars being out of bounds. What does that mean? Well, you might get sudden, unexpected results, in this example, in the 4th house or in the 9th house areas of life. You might also observe some increased feistiness in society over the coming week while Mars is out of bounds. And this is in general, not necessarily pertaining to your individual chart. For your individual chart, as I've just said, check out what Mars is ruling in your chart. But for the general collective, feistiness. And probably we could use a bit of this now, a bit of get up and go, a bit of heroism, a bit of like, look out, you know, Superman's on the go here. That will be happening in society. People tapping into their hero warrior energy and willing to take a stand and make a fight where needed, a justified fight. That is the positive expression of Mars, you know, being that warrior, being that hero. The shadow side of Mars is letting anger get the better of us, lashing out, being aggressive, being violent with no justified cause. That is the shadow side of Mars. So when Mars goes out of bounds, we get extreme Mars expressions. So it could go to the shadow side and it could go to the positive side. But I think we need a little bit of stirring up, quite frankly. You know, we're all frustrated with a lot of what we're seeing in the world right now, and things need to shift. But they're not going to shift unless we've got that impetus, that energization that an out-of-bound Mars can actually bring us. But just be careful and be conscious of the shadow side of Mars potentially expressing as well. Now, also this week, the moon is out of bounds, and this will be out of bounds from the 15th to the 22nd of January. So this could really bring many unexpected and significant events into our lives as well. The moon goes out of bounds on a reasonably regular basis. It's not unusual, but we often see in the charts of people who have a prominent life that they're born with an out of bounds moon. So we get prominent activities. Now that could be anything from, we see it in the charts of serial killers, and we see it in the charts of, famous singers, like there is this energy of being prominent no matter what your field is. So things get a bit exacerbated when the moon is out of bounds. And so again, that's the energy we might be noticing in the collective this week. We may also be noticing that we experience that as well personally, because the moon will be out of bounds when we have the full moon on the 17th of January. So it's going to be an extra sort of potent full moon because of that. Now, I talk a lot further about this in my full moon report, which is for my patron family. If you would like to be a patron member, it's €5 a month, and you get full moon reports, new moon reports, and a whole lot of extra goodies and bits and pieces as well. But I will talk extensively about the moon being out of bounds for this full moon that's coming up in its own sign of Cancer. So going to be a very potent full moon, this one. You will want to take note of how that is affecting you. But moving on from the energies of the week, now we want to have a look at the key dynamics energetically that are happening. So this week's energy focus, and there's quite a bit going on. So let's make a start. Firstly, on the 15th of January, that's in Melbourne time, Australia, we are seeing Venus appear as the morning star. So here is Venus down here. She's been moving retrograde. Back towards Sagittarius, but still in Capricorn. And around the 15th, she is going to be far enough away from the sun to appear. She's been invisible, lost in the glare of the sun, but on the 15th, she's over 10 degrees away. Boom. She is seen in the morning as she rises before the sun, Venus morning star, birthed into a new form. This is the goddess. Venus, the goddess, Aphrodite, appears now fresh as the morning dew, ready to establish a new era of Venus on the planet. We're so ready for this. I'm so ready for this. Bring that new, fresh Venus energy in. Now, Venus rules finances, Venus rules relationships, love, Venus rules forgiveness, Venus rules gentleness, tenderness, sensual pleasures. They're just some of the things that Venus rules. And she also governs desire in astrology. Her companion planet, like if you know the symbology of Venus, it's the feminine symbol, and here is Mars, the masculine symbol. So her companion yin-yang planet is Mars in a sense. And Mars governs the actions that we take towards getting our desires. But Venus is the desire, the longing, the wanting for something beautiful, something sensual, something physical, something material, the longing, the desires, the hunger. That's a Venus thing. Mars is the action. So just to explain the difference there. So now, as she awakens from her trip into the underworld, where she met with the sun, was invisible like Inanna in the underworld, and now is emerging reborn, what is it that your heart most desires? This is what we can be asking ourselves on the 15th. What desires have been planted in you during this underworld trip of Venus? And how are you going to honor these stirrings within your heart in the days and weeks and months to come of this brand new 18-month Venus cycle? These are really pertinent questions, and I'd encourage you, maybe if you're into journaling, you might like to journal around those questions at this time, and send out collectively a big welcome to what is known in ancient terminology as the herald of the dawn, Venus as the morning star. It's a wonderful time. I'm so excited. I get goosebumps just thinking about how special this is. Then on the 17th of January, we've got a few things happening. We've got the sun in a conjunction with Pluto. And here we are. Here you can see the two coming together at the same point in the sky. Empowerment will be ours on the 17th. We feel totally capable under this energy of taking life by the horns, bending it to our will. But there's a hiccup with that kind of method, though, under this energy, and that comes with a tendency towards manipulation and control and power plays. Either we give that to others, try to manipulate them and control them, or others are doing that to us. So be conscious, be aware. That can be happening in the collective. It can also be happening very personally to you. But in the positive, the sun is the great illuminator, while Pluto is the god of the underworld, the god of the hidden things that are secret. So hidden secrets and power plays, nasty agendas, financial dodginess, they come out when they're illuminated by the sun. So don't be surprised to see something being revealed that's a bit secretive, bit nasty, bit sort of underhanded, perhaps collectively in the world on the 17th, but also potentially that could be happening in your own personal life. Someone's kept something hidden from you, someone's kept something secret, and it's suddenly revealed to you. So are you ready for what might be being revealed on the 17th? Now, our own psyche, Pluto has connections to our psyche. It can also come under scrutiny with the big reveal that has happened through the illumination of the sun at this point. So our psyche and perhaps its tendencies towards destructive attitudes or hurtful behavior or dark sides, they are similarly going to see the light of day, and they're going to need to be dealt with and hopefully dissolved by us. That's the optimum energy, for us to see, oh my goodness, I can't believe I do that, and why was I thinking that, and my behavior is not who I want to be known for, and I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to dissolve it. I'm going to stop doing that. That's the ideal result of this illumination process. So naturally, this is a terrific transit to transform yourself at a really core level. Pluto wants us to embrace our true soul purpose. And so for some people, this is a transit that might illuminate exactly what that purpose is on the 17th, where you need to get on track with your personal ability to shine, and where are you falling short of what you really want to do and who you really want to be. Very, very powerful. Not only is it powerful because of all the energies of Pluto conjunct the sun that I've just described, but it's happening with the full moon in Cancer at the same time. And I don't think I've got my moon in the right spot here. Moon will be, in Cancer around this time, making an exact opposition to the sun and Pluto. Now, again, I'm going to talk further about this in my Patreon family video, where you can get the breakdown for your sign of how this energy is going to be affecting you. But this Pluto conjunct with the sun is going to be extra potent because it's part of the full moon dynamic. You'll feel it at a very emotional level. Now, on the 19th of January, Uranus is turning direct. Now, I am so excited about this. Oh my goodness. Ever since Uranus went retrograde, I have been like, oh man, hurry up and turn direct. Finally, here in Taurus, I'll put a big R beside, no, I won't. I'll put a big D beside Uranus because he's turning direct at long last. I've been waiting for this for 6 months. Now, our intuition, our sense of rebellion, our independence can flow naturally and with ease. Uranus is a planet of awakening. We're going to see a lot more people wake up when he goes direct, thank God. And it's not too late. It's not too late for people to wake up and realize what the hell is going on. For the last 6 months, humanity and certain individuals have been much less self-aware. And the ability to find equality, freedom, and truth within society and in our personal lives has been impaired or held back by the retrograde motion of Uranus. We internalize those things rather than live them out and express them, and rather than being able to see them in the world around us. No more. It's time to rise up into our independence and our autonomy, friends, as a human collective and as individuals as well, to stand firm against tyranny now. Finally, find the truth that will set you free. This is what Uranus is calling us to. He is about freedom. He is about living authentically, living our truth. And this is, he's calling us to that this week. You may have already been feeling this energy. I think about Novak Djokovic and what's been happening with him in Australia. I think this is very much a calling card of what is about to break when Uranus goes direct. Thank God. He's sort of in that energy a lot sooner than the actual direct motion. But we can feel these things, particularly with such a powerful planet like Uranus. We can feel into this even up to a week or so before the actual change occurs. So, this is about letting your need for personal authenticity drive you forward in this empowering 6-month period that Uranus is going to be direct. What do you want that's going to happen in your life to set you free? How can you be more authentic? Uranus is going to give you the momentum and the impetus now. Uranus is getting stronger. He's been weak under this square for the last 6 months or so. This square from Saturn while he's been introverted, in retrograde motion. Now, boom, he's busting out. He's getting strong. He's going to bring the change. And ultimately, I just have to say, with this Saturn-Uranus square, Uranus is always going to win. He is the further out planet. And the further out you go, the stronger the influence and the more power ultimately comes. I mean, if you think about it, Uranus is the past. Sorry, Saturn is the past. Saturn is what has been. Uranus is the future. So he is going to be the winner. Thank you, Uranus, sky god and great liberator, that you are turning direct, and we are going to soon see some, as I quote, blessed change occur in our personal lives and on the planet. So I have been so excited to see this coming. But the energy I'm going to talk about in a minute when I break it down for all signs is really, I think, going to be the most noticeable for the next 18 months. And this is when, on January the 19th, the same day as Uranus goes direct, we have the nodes of the moon Here up in Gemini, Sagittarius moving into Taurus, Scorpio. Who would have thought that the last 18 months of the nodes being in Sagittarius, Gemini could have possibly looked the way that they did? Would anyone have predicted that? Well, maybe some astrologers did predict it, but who could have seen that it would be so potent? Will anyone be sorry to see them leave Sagittarius, Gemini? Probably not. You know, we might find, you know, the things that have been restricted by the South Node or dissolved by the South Node being in Sagittarius have been our ability to travel, or our access to truth, our access to freedom. These are all Sagittarian themes, and they've all been really diminished with the South Node in Sagittarius. So now that the South Node is moving out of there, we might find that our freedom to travel returns, our access to higher truth and knowledge and wisdom returns to the collective. We might find that our freedoms are, you know, much more opened up now. Thank God, it's high time. But what is also interesting, instead of being for the last 18 months, the collective has been lost in the frenzy and lies of mainstream media. What is represented by mainstream media in an astrology chart? Gemini. North Node is there. What have we got more of this last 18 months? Mainstream media frenzy. You know, what's the latest news? What's the latest gossip? What's happening? What's, you know, and this frenzy of information that, is it accurate or not? Nobody's bothering to check, or nobody's, you know, doing their due diligence or their deep research, which is a Sagittarian thing. Everyone's just out there doing, oh, grab the latest, the most sensationalized. The news is a Gemini thing, and it's very much about this surface level of information without the depth of Sagittarius. So I, for one, am very happy to see the end to this experience of North Node, South Node, where they've been. Now we're moving into Taurus, Scorpio. Now this is a financial axis, Scorpio, Taurus. Firstly, it's a financial axis, and it also has strong sexual and sensual overtones. Scorpio is a very sexual sign, sexual power, and sex in general. But Taurus is very sexual as well. This isn't often talked about as much as the Scorpio energy. Taurus is the sensual side of sexuality. It's the tangible touch, taste, sight, sound, smell that forms a part of the sexual experience. So it has a very strong motivation towards the pleasure side of sex also. And so here we go. When the nodes move into these axes, let's take a look at some of the themes that are going to be decreased and that are going to be increased by the nodes being in this axis for the next 18 months. So first of all, when the South Node moves into Scorpio, we might begin to see the dissolving, because that's what the South Node does. It's the dissolving. It can be also the revealing of the past that needs to be gotten rid of. It has to do with things that need to be let go of in order to make space for the new. That's the South Node energy. So we begin to see the dissolving in Scorpio of a powerful agenda of manipulation amongst the high rollers, I guess, of society, the people with the power, the people with the control in society. Their power and control is going to be disintegrated over the next 18 months. Scorpio can also be connected to toxicity. You know, it's represented by Scorpion after all. You know, toxicity and issues around toxicity used for manipulation and control and agendas and hidden secrets and what have you, they're going to be exposed and dissolved. Crime, nasty secrets. Now, also, especially this is going to be key amongst people who are using other people's money to accomplish their agenda, because Scorpio is about other people's resources. You know, I am a resource for the government. They're farming me for my taxes, basically. So, you know, it's my money as a resource for me that is being used by the government, or, you know, by, you know, the corporations and what have you, to make them rich. So people who are using other people's money is a very Scorpio theme, and people who are using that for underhanded schemes, for you know, things that are out of our personal control, well, that could also be being dissolved. Now, I just need to contrast that with Taurus. Taurus is our money, not other people's money, or using other people's money, or people manipulating for other people's money. The Taurus energy is self-sufficiency, my money, my ability to provide for my life. very different kind of financial components to this financial axis. So just to reiterate, people who are using power plays and secrets and toxicity and underhanded methods are going to be dissolved in their activities. Thank God. Isn't this a wonderful, hopeful thing to see this South Node moving into Scorpio? Scorpio represents in its shadow side power and powerful people. Although, hang on, having said that shadow side, it's important for us all to step into our own power, which is also a Scorpio thing, and that's one of the light sides to Scorpio. But the powerful people, the manipulative, the oligarchy, the people like that can be seen from Scorpio with their agendas. Wouldn't it be glorious to bid goodbye to the oligarchy who are corrupting our planet? One can only hope that South Node in Sagittarius might be so kind as to bring that about. But what about the North Node in Taurus? Well, wherever the North Node goes, that's where we get hungry for something. That's where we want more of something. We're eager for something. Bring it, bring it, bring it. We're ravenous for it. What are we hungry for in the next 18 months? Self-sufficiency, Taurus. Natural lifestyles, getting back to the simple life, back to the earth, back to nature, growing our own food, looking to create our own resources in some way, looking to esteem the earth instead of violating the earth. This is what we're hungry for now. Natural oneness with nature and Mother Earth. It's also, as I said, financial freedom that comes with this as well. We're hungry for financial freedom, no longer being farmed for our taxes by the oligarchy, no longer being exploited nor manipulated by the powerful for our personal resources. Now we want autonomy with that. We want independence with that. We want self-sufficiency with that. And I've got to say, Uranus being in this placement as well in Taurus is also asking us for that, saying, come on guys, let's get independent, let's get free, let's get liberated with our resources in the sign of Taurus. Let's get natural and authentic with our resources. Uranus in Taurus, North Node in Taurus. It's an exciting time, and it brings me so much hope. And surely it's time, after 2 years of struggle and difficulty, it's time for this beautiful energetic shift. Bring it on. So, fake meat, synthetic food while the North Node is in Taurus? No way. Not going to happen. Taurus is our instinct for self-preservation. Taurus is our instinct for survival, and it's also our self-love. So none of this fake stuff. We want authentic, we want real, we want natural. Anyone, including astrologers or other types of practitioners in the world, doing anything at all, but anyone who is all about assisting others to be self-sufficient and to increase in self-love, the themes of Taurus, they're going to thrive. They're going to flourish. Their businesses are going to blossom. So if you want your business to blossom, make sure that your core motivation the next 18 months is to help others rise up and be self-sufficient and increase in their own self-love and worthiness. Then you will thrive during the North Node in Taurus. Any astrologers or any other types of practitioners who are on a power trip, trying to say, I'm the best, you suck, I'm going to control you, I'm going to manipulate you, you're going to fall. South Node in Scorpio. It's not your time, and I don't think it should ever be your time if that's your agenda. So it's going to be very, very interesting on so many levels. And these things are going to increase in focus as the next 18 months progresses. Now, the change of the nodes brings hope for a shift in dynamic across the planet. We're all hoping for this. We're so ready for this. We're sick of the stale old way it's always been done. So maybe, fingers and toes crossed here, this is the change that we've been waiting for, and it's now at hand. That's my hope, and I'm very confident in this beautiful astrological shift that's about to occur. The final thing that's happening this week, before I break it down for all signs, is that the Sun will then, on the 20th of January, sun down here in Capricorn is going to shift into Aquarius, and the sun illuminates, as we've already established, wherever it goes in the zodiac. So this is the month for Aquarius to shine. So happy birthday to anyone who has an Aquarius sun after the 20th. So our focus when the sun moves into Aquarius moves to the collective endeavors now, creating community, and this ties in beautifully with the shift of the nodes as well. Finding practical solutions to social issues, they are the focus that the sun will illuminate in Aquarius. Logic and fact can take the helm now, and we need that from time to time. Yes, we need creativity and ethereal spirituality as well, but there is a place also to balance that with logic and fact. So let us hope that a good dose of the truth is interspersed in our scientific perspectives that are being produced or put out there in the world, and having a bit of truth would be really good. That would be a great emphasis to have over the coming 30 days. Being in a social sign, the sun in Aquarius is bringing about the spirit of connection, and this could be strengthened. You might find yourself looking for new ways to reach out and looking for new ways to collaborate with other people and network with others now, and to establish maybe even new communities together under this energy. Tenacity is also a hallmark of Aquarian energy, and during this transit of the sun you might be called upon to exhibit some tenacity in your life at this time, and doing so while the sun is in Aquarius can really pay off. So that's what I'm seeing with the key energies this week. I've spent quite a bit of time talking about that. Now we're going to move through what it means to have the nodes in your house placement, and I will point out that what I've just described a moment ago about the nodes in Scorpio and Taurus is very much what we're going to see in the big collective experience. Now this sign's breakdown is going to be much more personal, and that's because the nodes give personal results relating to their house placement, not so much their sign placement. The sign placement is a generational effect because it lasts 18 months. It's not a quick moving thing. So it's a generational effect in the signs, which you will be experiencing, but personally in your life you're going to notice it more relating to the house placements of the nodes, and that's what we're going to explore now. So how about we start with Taurus, where the North Node is moving and where Uranus is going direct. Ta-da! There we are. Okay, so the North Node in Taurus and the South Node in Scorpio. Well, in the first house is where you're going to experience the nodes traveling, Taurus. This is going to give you an increase in self-confidence and an increase in your ability to start new things over the next 18 months. Powerful new beginnings in life are available to you now, not only because of the North Node being here, but because the eclipses are going to be falling on your relationship axis. So there might be some shifts to relationships that are coming your way in the next 18 months. There could also be some general life shifts too because of the eclipses falling on your relationship axis. So powerful new beginnings in life are heralded by the North Node moving through your first house, along with much more independence coming your way. Opportunities for independence, opportunities for self-assertion. There's going to be a need to release and let go of any, because of the South Node in Scorpio, your 7th house, and there's a need to release and let go of any old or unhealthy relationships and contracts that are not serving you. So, it may not be that your relationship might end during this next 18 months, but the ball might be set in motion to wind things up, maybe 2 years down the track or something now, because what the nodes are calling you to is authenticity. Again, we come back to that word of authenticity. Uranus in your first house is calling you to that too. Authenticity with your life. And if you're in a relationship that is not authentic, a relationship where you're just going through the motions, you're not invested, you're passing like ships in the night, it could end. If you're in a healthy relationship dynamic, there's nothing to be afraid of. What it will do is probably refine that relationship over the next 18 months and take it to a deeper, more substantial level. So that's an exciting time that you're entering into, Taurus, with the nodes on your relationship axis. Get ready. Gemini rising, sun or moon people, it's putting the relationship, not the relationship axis, It's putting the axis of the nodes in your 12th house north node and 6th house south node. So what does this mean for you? Well, when the north node is in the 12th house, there is an increased passion that will come to you for spiritual practice. You might start a new meditation routine or a yoga routine. You might start to research deep, introspective, metaphysical things. There could also be opportunity for travel that might come to you in the next 18 months, maybe to quite far away places, but places that you'll go to and they will open your eyes to a level of enlightenment and awakening that you may never have known before through these experiences. You might be attending a retreat over the next 18 months. You might even have, because it's a very secretive house, the 12th house, secret liaisons, secret dealings that might come about too. It's also a time for perhaps taking some time out alone or taking a retreat on your own. And that could just be that you're spending every evening in your bedroom, to read books or relax, or something that you wouldn't ordinarily do. There's this need for time out that becomes stronger with the North Node here. Also, potentially, the good thing here is you might actually have the potential to have a few more holidays than usual. That's the good side of the North Node in the 12th house. One of the more challenging things is that if you are not honoring your body's need to rest, the body might say, well, I'm going to make you rest, and you're going to get sick, or you might have some, loss of work or something, so that you stop and slow down. So if you feel at all, Gemini, over the next, 18 months that I'm tired, I'm worn out, I'm burnt out, listen to your soul, your body, your mind, and act accordingly. Take a rest, take a holiday, take a break. Far better to do that voluntarily than to have the universe force it on you. Now, at the same time, you've got the South Node in the 6th house. This is calling you to let go of any old habits, old routines that are not helping you, like daily routines that have got you stuck in a rut, same old neural pathways that keep getting activated, nothing new, nothing fresh, and the universe is saying, enough, get rid of that old mindset, that old way of doing things, those old habits, and even in some cases those old work responsibilities. So for some people during this transit of the nodes, you might actually change jobs, move into something that's more meaningful and purposeful for you, or it could just mean that your work responsibilities in your current employment might change as well, and you're dissolving what you're doing now in order to do something new. So that's what we're seeing for Gemini. For Cancer rising, Cancer sun, Cancer moon people, we are seeing the axis of the nodes shift into the 11th house and the 5th house, which is a very lovely axis to be getting activation. And this is going to bring opportunities for new and exciting friendships with the North Node up here in Taurus. This is the house of friends and social circles. You're going to increase and improve your social circles. They're going to be much more suited to you, much more in alignment with who you are, your friendships, your connections. You might even establish under this energy for the next 18 months some very daring new goals and daring new profit-making activities. And it's worth taking the risk. As long as it doesn't compromise your secure foundation in life, it's worth taking the risk. The North Node likes to sort of live on the edge a bit and take a risk, and it can pay off for you. You'll be having eclipses over the next 18 months on this axis, and so there's going to be a lot of activation of this sort of thing around the times of the eclipses too. So taking a fresh start with some dream or goal or aspiration that you've had, a good idea. And you can receive success in those realms through the nodes moving through here. What are you releasing? Sorry, 5th house things are what is being released for you for the next 18 months. And that might mean that there might be less time for fun, less time for, for playing, because this is the house of our hobbies and our personal interests and so forth. But if you're pursuing a new goal and you're taking, risky kind of courageous steps into some new dream, well, you're going to be busy with that. And of course, it means less time for all the, the frivolous stuff of life. We need that. We do need all the entertainments and the fun and the joy. Absolutely, we need that. But there's also a time for putting our efforts into our dreams, and you're entering into that zone now, Cancer. So less time for fun. More time and passion for achieving profitable goals. This is the 11th house is the house of the rewards and gains for the efforts you put in life. So that's what it's time for. That's fine. What else? There might be the release of some unhealthy romantic situation or relationship situation that you've been in. It's not so much a house of relationships that are committed in the 5th house. It's more a house of love. And if love has been waning or a bit lackluster or something, then the South Node moving through here might say, time to say goodbye to that old love dynamic that is not part of your destiny any longer. The South Node is the past, the North Node is the future, the destiny, the purpose. So some Cancer people might have to let go of some unhealthy love attachment that is no longer part of their purpose, their future, or their destiny. Moving along to my lovely Leo friends, Leo Sun, Rising, or Moon people. Well, we've got the axis of the nodes shifting very excitingly for you guys into the 10th house and the 4th house axis for Leos. So this is quite a simple one, but it is an angular axis, and that means it can be very potent. A potent 18 months of activation. And remember, the eclipses are falling on this axis for you for the next 18 months, so there's going to be some powerful shifts that might occur, especially if you have planets in the 4th house or in the 10th house that are being activated as well. But you're going to have more passion because the North Node is hungry. Passion for career, passion and opportunities to rise up into a destiny with a career that could come to you over the next 18 months. Passion and opportunity to rise up in social status, in leadership, in public roles, in increasing your reputation. Success in those things can be yours through this transit as well. Now, at the same time, we're dissolving some things that are holding us back in the 4th house. And in that case, Leo, you might find that there is less, not only less love for family, but maybe less interest in family and private matters, less time for family and private matters as you focus instead on this destiny with career. There might also be, for some Leo people, a release of home or place of living. Maybe you've had your roots down deep and solid in a certain place for years and years, and along comes the South Node moving through your 4th house and says, time to pull those roots up and be more of a free spirit with where you are residing. So some people might change place of living. Some people might loosen their attachment to a place where they are living. They might pick up their roots completely and make a big change. So very big letting go dynamic in a very deep, personal, angular part of the horoscope. So that's what I'm seeing. There could also be, I might add as well, a bit of some change with your emotional state of being too. It doesn't mean anything bad, but it might mean you've had an emotional attachment to something or an emotional way of being for a big chunk of your life, and now the South Node dissolves that emotional status that you've had, emotional way of being, emotional outlook, and brings in something new. Because when the South Node dissolves something, it allows space for the new to come in. All right, Virgo. Virgo rising, sun or moon people. The energy of the North and South Node shifting signs for you is falling in Scorpio, Taurus, your 3rd house, and your, what are we? 3rd house, 9th house axis. Oh, I had to get my bearings there for a second. So what this means, Virgo, is you're going to get more of the 9th house and less of the 3rd house energies exhibiting in your life. This means educational opportunities can come to you this year with the North Node in your 9th house, Taurus. You can have the North Node is very passionate, and it gets hungry for things. You can be hungry to learn something new, hungry to do a new course. You might like to look at doing my course, but hungry and passionate for new educational experiences. You could also get hungry and passionate for world travel, and the ability to make it happen can come to you this year. So you might have been stuck in Australia for 2 years and thinking, I'm never going to leave this country again. Woe is me. We're like on prison island here. Lo and behold, in comes the North Node into your 9th house. Boom, you've got the ability to make it happen. Somehow you can go off and do that European trip you've always been dreamed of doing. So very exciting in that sense. There can also be some new or foreign beliefs, because the North Node represents things that are foreign to us. New or foreign beliefs or a new outlook on the world that you embrace now too. That can come to you through various encounters with gurus or mentors or people who inspire you, and suddenly your whole worldview and perspective shifts. Exciting foreign connections that can be made also too. Now, The third house connection, the south node being there, is very much letting go of the surface level of life and going deeper. So you're going to be like getting rid of the focus on the mundane in life, you know, oh, well, gossip about what my neighbor's doing and where he's going and so on, forgetting about all that surface level stuff and what's the weather doing and, you know, oh, what are the Kardashians up to? Less interested in this mundane surface level, gossipy, newsy kind of stuff, much more about going deep. So this is a house of neighbors. It's a house of acquaintances, people that are in our life through, not through our choice, but through circumstance. And so we might find that there could be a shift, a dissolving, a change that comes in that realm. Our neighbors might move. We might have a complete shift in our set of acquaintances or work colleagues or connections that change dynamic completely as well. Some people also might even experience a bit of a change in how they're doing business because of this. It doesn't mean your business is going to get dissolved and you're going to lose your business. It doesn't mean that at all, but it can mean a shifting and a changing of how you're doing business and the focus of your business in order to allow in and make space for the new that wants to enter. So that's what I'm seeing there. Thank you, Virgo. Libra rising, sun or moon people. The energy of the shifting of the nodes into Taurus and Scorpio is falling on the financial axis of second house, 8th house for you. And what this means is that there's going to be an increase in 8th house stuff, because wherever the north node goes, it's hungry for something, it's eager, it's desirous. So there is a passion now for understanding secrets and gaining secret knowledge for the next 18 months for you. You're also going to be having eclipses on this axis that could really trigger these things as well. There is this desire for more occult knowledge. Now, occult means anything that's hidden. So you want to understand the hidden meanings behind things, the esoteric principles, the stuff that has, you know, been kept from you. This is passion for more private information. There could also be a passion for secret relationships, private relationships, which are very 8th house as well. You might even have some sort of affair manifest, or a relationship that you have to keep quiet for some reason or another for a time. So that can happen also too. There can also be, very interestingly for Libran people, a sudden rise in your financial situation through other people's money or through benefactors and the assistance of other people. So that's quite exciting. You know, this is a house of windfalls, sudden gains that are not earned by you. So the house, this is very much, I mean, people talk about the 5th house being sort of the Tats Lotto-y win kind of situations. The 8th house is just as much that way, because it's quick changes. And in this case, financially, that could be the case. You could get benefits from taxes, insurances, inheritances. Very exciting. Sudden healings, either emotional healings or physical healings, that can be a result of the north node being here. Now also at the same time, you've got the south node in the 2nd house, Libra. So there can be a lessening of practical matters. You know, your ability to find practical solutions to things might get less. The ability to generate your own financial sources of income might lessen, and you might become a bit more dependent on sources of income outside of you, you know, working for somebody else rather than making your own money. And for those of us who are in our own businesses, who have Libra, I have a Libra moon, and we've got our own businesses, it might mean maybe for a time you need to do a bit of outsourcing and doing some work for somebody, you know, on the side, as well as running your own business. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be the case for everyone, but it is potentially a possibility. Nothing to fear though. There's definitely an emphasis here on this axis of letting go of relying only on yourself. And I've got to say, there's a certain relief with that. Having to be the one to, you know, make yourself secure and stable and materially all right in life is going to lessen, and you can lean on other people now. You can depend a bit more on other people now with the south node in the sign of Scorpio, your second house, which is, second house is self-sufficiency. You're doing it. It's all on your shoulders. You are making your own security and stability in the world. That's what the second house is all about. And there's going to be less of that and more of the North Node in the 8th, leaning on others, other people's money, support from outside of you. So in that sense, it could be a bit of a breather for a lot of people who've had to shoulder a big burden themselves for a long time. So that sounds nice to me. I hope it does to other people too. Scorpio rising, sun or moon people. Well, obviously this is falling on your relationship axis, and for the next 18 months you're going to find, Scorpio, that there might be some shifts in your relationship dynamic. That could be quite enjoyable if you need a change, if you need a shift, if you need some up leveling in relationships, but the eclipses will be triggering those things and you'll probably sense it and feel into it from the moment the nodes change signs. This can be a time, as you have the North Node in your 7th house, when you especially as you've got Uranus there as well, where there are some new exciting relationships that manifest in your life. And that could be business partnerships, it could be a personal relationship, it could be new clients, it could be a new audience. It doesn't have to necessarily mean a new marriage, but new relationships that are unusual, new relationships that are exciting and fascinating. And you can have a lot more opportunities for the next 18 months to experience success in life through collaborations, through partnerships. Also, what's happening is with the South Node in Scorpio, there is a loss of personal ego, because the first house is ego. The first house is me, I. And that's quite all right. We need a bit of that in life. But with the South Node moving through Scorpio, it means less of me, I, and more of us, we, together. It's more of collaboration. So there's going to be less independence and less autonomy. It doesn't mean it's not going to be there, but the focus is going to be stronger on let's do this together, let's collaborate, let's help one another. So that's a nice, I feel it's a nice component, Scorpio, awaiting you in the next 18 months with this energy. Sagittarius rising, sun or moon people. Well, we are seeing the energy of the North and South Node of the moon move into Taurus, Scorpio, your 12th house, 6th house axis. So what does this mean? Well, it means that the North Node is in your 6th house and you're going to get more of 6th house energy. Wherever the North Node goes is where we're passionate for something. So we're passionate for 6th house things, for cleanliness, for order, for efficiency, for new health routines, for new daily routines. We're passionate and hungry for, and we're going to generate and manifest more opportunities in our work life. You know, our daily routine will shift and change to serve us better and be part of our future destiny. So will our work life. For some people, that might mean a change of jobs, a complete shift from one way of earning money to pay the bills to another way of earning money to pay the bills. 6th house is not career. The 6th house is not our dreams and aspirations. 6th house is what we actually do. It's very practical, practically oriented. So new, like I said, new order, new structure, new cleaning out your life in order to make way for the new health routines, new work. At the same time, the South Node is going to be in the 12th house. What does this indicate? Well, it's a dissolving of something. And the shadow side of the 12th house can be things that we're addicted to. It can be self-sabotaging behaviors. It can be our need to be alone. And we might find that, we might have spent the last 12 years of our life being very much in our own head, in our own fantasy land, whatever, doing our thing, our way, on our own. And suddenly in goes the South Node and starts dissolving that. And we're much more about how can we help others? How can we heal others? How can we fix others? Which are 6th house energies. So there's a letting go of, like I said, the 12th house addictions, the self-sabotaging, and the alone time that often accompanies a 12th house energy as well. We're going to get less of that and be looking for more ways to be of service to the world, to help, to heal, to fix. And that's actually quite a noble thing to be rising up into over the next 6 months. Alrighty, now we're moving on to our Capricorn friends. This is putting the change of nodal axis into your 5th house, and 11th house. And of course, with the North Node in the 5th house, you're going to get more 5th house things. And this means like the North Node is passionate, and you're going to get more opportunity to be center stage, to be seen, to be visible. You're going to get more fun, more entertainment, more romance even, Capricorn. It sounds very exciting, very pleasurable and delightful. You might discover many more new hobbies that you never even knew were things that you would enjoy. You might enjoy spending more time with your children. As you can hear all the noise in the background of this video, I'm spending a lot of time with my children on school holidays at the moment. You might get more time with your children, for better or worse, Capricorn people. There might also be more creative opportunities coming your way, and an increase in your actual charisma and recognition and fame. 5th house has to do with celebrity. So, you know, for some people, if all the rest of their planets are lining up in a certain way, they can actually step into being a celebrity in a certain level or being more famous. That's possible. There can also be some exciting romantic relationships, as I said, and if you're already in a relationship, it's like you get an adrenaline shot into that relationship and it suddenly becomes more passionate, more enthusiastic, more you're hungry for more dating with your partner, you know, or more romantic experiences, and then you start to get more of that. What it's being let go of, though, with the South Node moving through the 11th house, is letting go of some friendships. So you might find in the next 18 months, some friends just naturally move out of your life. They dissolve. It's not going to be shocking. It's not going to be like, you know, suddenly you know, your best friend tells you to F off and you never see them again. No, it's much more of a dissolving influence, the South Node. A bit misty. So, you know, just a friend might move to another country and slowly you just have less and less contact and, you know, that sort of thing. There's less interest in gain, less interest in what am I doing to achieve profit and success in the world, and much more interest in, you know, I need more play in my life. I need more joy, more fun, more creative self-expression. So it doesn't mean a loss of income, but it means your focus, your energetic focus shifts to things that are more joyful and give you that high vibration of joy. And that's a healthy thing to focus on. For those of us who are familiar with the work of David Hawkins, Power versus Force, we know that joy is one of the highest vibrations a person can be in, and joy is connected to the 5th house. So time for you guys to embrace your joy over the next 18 months, my beautiful Capricorn friends. All right, Aquarius rising, sun or moon people. The energy of the north and south node of the moon is shifting for you into an angular axis, the 4th house and the 10th house. And of course, the 4th house is where the north node is going to be residing for the next 18 months. So that's where we're going to get more of something. There's an increased focus on family, on new beginnings with place of living. So a lot of people might find that they get an opportunity that just comes to them, possibly suddenly out of the blue, because Uranus is in your 4th house as well, that will take you to a new place, new home, new country, new town, new city, just a new place, new community, new sense of belonging even here. There's also an increase of passion and desire for maybe a new property. You know, you might, especially with Taurus here, you might decide you want to go self-sufficient. You want that 10-acre farmlet to sort of have some goats and, you know, chickens and what have you. And you might get a passion for that kind of thing. Now, you also could get a passion for a new vehicle. Vehicles are connected to the 4th house. So, you know, a desire, I don't know, to have a new car, or you might think you want a ute for your new property. Sorry for people in other parts of the world, they're probably not familiar with what a ute is. It's a truck, basically, you know, a personal truck, not a big sort of semi-trailer or anything. So anyway, you might get a passion for those sorts of things. But what are you releasing, Aquarius? 10th house things. Now, it doesn't mean that you're saying goodbye to your career, but there might be something to do with your social status or your career responsibilities that are being dissolved. So what that can look like is potentially, you know, you decide you're going to move to the country and you're going to have your chickens and your goats, and that means you're not going to be CEO of the company any longer. But you would rather focus on having that new lifestyle. So you let go of that social status or those career responsibilities. Now that's probably an extreme example, and it will be of your own desire, any changes that are made, but you don't need to worry. It's going to be for the best for you to rise into your destiny, which is signified by the North Node. So that's what I'm seeing for Aquarius. Now for Pisces rising, sun or moon people, the energy of the nodes for those of us who are Pisces is shifting out of the third house, ninth house axis into the second house, 8th house axis, the financial axis for us. So there is going to be an increase in focus, Pisces, on the third house. Back up a second. We're moving the nodes out of the 4th house, 10th house axis into the 3rd house, 9th house. My apologies. So the North Node being in the 3rd house means there's going to be a stronger focus on 3rd house things, a hunger for 3rd house things, a desire for 3rd house things, focus and passion on developing maybe some new technological skills. Many Pisces people might do a marketing course now, or they might do some sort of upgrading of their computer understanding, computer skills or something. There's strides forward that are to be made in the next 18 months, Pisces, with your skills, with your knowledge level as well. But also, this is a house of minor networking, doing workshops. And I, for one, have already got lined up. It's just so interesting to me as a Pisces rising person. I've already got lined up a number of wellness retreats that I'm going to be teaching at. These are networking events. These are small group events, like 12 people doing spiritual work together kind of events. And I'm speaking at a few of those over the next 18 months that have already been sort of set up. Very much the nature of this: workshops, short trips, new contacts, collaborative kind of group endeavors. So that kind of thing can be very much on the cards for you, either in an instructional capacity — this does have to do with teaching this axis — or in a participatory fashion. Now you can also have a lot more success, Pisces people, with communications, with media, marketing, sales, success on social media. Who knows, my YouTube channel might actually sort of get a good shot in the arm, which would be fantastic. That can come from the North Node moving through here as well. But what is being released, Pisces, 9th house things, where the South Node is moving into Scorpio? Most significantly, the 9th house has to do with old beliefs and old ways of thinking, old ethics that no longer hold water for us. So we might have thought a certain way, we might have thought the world works like this, and that might have been something we've clung to for years. And in comes the South Node and says, nah, you got it all wrong. You've pinned your flag to the wrong ship here. It's got to be dissolved. You've got to see things from a new perspective, new worldviews, new ideas, new ideologies. But you've got to dissolve the old so that the new can come in. And I'm excited about this. Really, really I am. I'm already, I keep saying my story, and please share your stories below. I love hearing what your journey has entailed regarding these things. But I am finding that it's already happening. My old understanding of, I'll give you an example. I've always had for the last few years of my life, had a very stoic view. Life is hard, life is tough. There is, very little joy. Dreams don't often come true. And that's been my belief. Now, that sounds really depressing, doesn't it? I've managed to sort of navigate life quite well despite that sort of very heavy attitude. But a lot of things have started happening in my life lately that are causing me to really question that very stoic belief. I will always be a stoicist. Because I think it helps us a lot with navigating life in the material plane, but it's not the only right way, and it's not the only belief. And I'm starting to sort of broaden my view through the dissolving of certain attitudes around Stoicism, for example. So that's one of the major shifts that we get out of the South Node moving into the 9th house, is a change of belief, a change of ethos that might be well overdue to happen. So finally, Aries people, thank you for waiting till last. For you guys, the axis of the nodes is shifting out of the 3rd house, 9th house into the 2nd house, 8th house axis. What does this mean for you? Well, the North Node is going to be in the 2nd house. That is where you're going to get more of something. And there's an increase in focus and an increase in passion in second house things. More making money. Hey, more success with practical matters now, Aries. Finding new and exciting sources of income. And we know as an Aries person, you're bound to be quite entrepreneurial anyway. Aries is a very entrepreneurial sign. So that you might discover new avenues for making money, new sources of revenue that you never even knew existed. And this will be your money. This is not kind of like the windfall from, an inheritance or a will or something. That's not what we're talking about. It's about stuff that you can do to turn your life around financially. So there's a big focus and a hunger for that. Material success can come your way because of the North Node here as well, especially when it hits in about 6 months time, 8 months time with Uranus. It can really bring a sudden success in the material realm for you, Aries. But what are you dissolving? Eighth house things. And it's now what's dissolving is dependence on other people, resource-wise. A lot of Aries people are going to say, I can't do this whole wage idea any longer. I can't do this whole leaning on somebody else for my sense of security and stability. And you're going to say, I'm going to go it on my own. Some Aries people will start their own businesses. Some Aries people will go self-sufficient. Now, some Aries people will say, I'm going to become a consultant. I'm going to, leave the company I've been working for or the government organization or whatever, and I'm going to start doing it on my own. There is a much more of a pull towards autonomous self-sufficiency with money rather than dependence on others and leaning on others. And for some Aries people in, say, relationships, for example, where the husband is always provided, if you're a woman with Aries and you're in that situation, you might suddenly find, I need to provide. I need to start generating some money. It's my time now to step up and start creating resources rather than leaning on my partner's money. So that can also be a calling card of this particular transit also. So exciting times for everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for this whiz around the nodes through the houses. I hope that it is a blessing to you. Let's perhaps welcome in this energy now with a prayer. Energy of love in the universe. Oh boy, are we excited for what this week has in store for us with Uranus turning direct and the change of signs by the nodes. We just ask that it starts to really solidify and usher in the new earth that we are wanting to be a part of. Many of us have chosen already to be a part of. May it manifest with love, with kindness, with grace, and with ease for all of us, no matter what is happening out there in the world. We pray for this energetic shift to give the right propulsion to the right people who need to step up. And to all of us to make the changes to live in more harmony with the universe. And so it is. Well, thank you for joining me, one and all. I look forward to having another Astro Weather Report for you in a few weeks' time once I've caught my breath. Thank you. I'll catch you then.